see The Last of Us finally got its trailer released?
Oh, yeah, for the HBO TV show.
Yeah. What'd you think?
It looks like a banger. Visually looks great. Like the vibes going through it. There were so many, I'm so like unfamiliar with it. I'm just like a casual Last of Us fan. That people were pointing things out. I didn't even notice. Like how apparently Joel's original kid in the show is like half black or something. And people were not happy about it. Naturally.
Oh, yeah. Right. I think it looks pretty good.
Yeah.
It's got two great actors already,
Ooh.
Nick Offerman and Pedro Pascal. Love to see both of the. Well, the Nick Offerman's the Ron Swanson in Parks and Rec.
Oh, I see.
And so he's really good. Pedro Pascal is the Mandalorian.
Oh, look at that.
From The Mandalorian.
Let's clarify.
In case you were unaware.
You don't want to mistake him for some other Mandalorian.
That's true. I don't really know many of the other cast members. I can't tell if... Oh, apparently Ashley Johnson is in it.
Who is she?
She's a really famous voice actor. I'm pretty sure she was a voice actor in one of the games.
Ah, that would track. Oh, what if she's Ellie?
She's not Ellie. Ellie is played by Bella Ramsey.
Oh, Ramsey.
I don't know who that is, but surely it's somebody.
Names upon names.
Yeah. But yeah, the rest of it looks really good.
Yeah, the I guess director maybe, I think, said something like it'd be mostly following the game story, but then said they were going to add stuff in that they couldn't add into the game.
Yeah, I think that's generally a good idea that they're following the game story.
Perhaps.
I know there's like some trepidation about that, but I think you're going to get more viewers to want to watch it, even if it ends up being maybe slightly not as good, or maybe there's just some stuff off about it, but I think you would get more backlash, or they would get more backlash, if they strayed too far from the original source.
Perhaps. Yeah, it's one of those things where you can't, like, they don't have, like, the game itself, it doesn't have side characters that you could, like, focus on. You've just got the main two. Yeah.
Although they're introducing side characters, it seems like.
For the hell of it.
So, well, yeah, there's a bunch of characters here, or all the actors and actresses, they all have names that I don't recognize, but it's been a while since I've really clued into The Last of Us.
Fair enough. Did they give a release date?
2023. So, early 2023.
Not bad. I bet, like, summer. Summer show.
Yeah, February. I'm guessing February, but we'll see.
Ooh.
Yeah, looks good. Anyways, enough about that. I'm sure we'll do an in-depth analysis of it.
Surely.
Welcome to episode 53 of You're Ridiculous.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
My name is Luke. I'm one of your hosts. With me, as always, is your other host, Wolf.
That's me.
That's you. Last week, we talked about Pokemon Scarlet and Violet.
We sure did.
And why it is the best mainline Pokemon game to date.
So far.
So far, true. Listen, it's only going to go downhill from here.
Oh, no.
If anybody disagrees with me about that, you can fight me on Twitter.
You're a fool, blinded by your nostalgia.
That's very true, and copium. This week, we're finally going to be talking about God of War Ragnarok.
Yeah!
We have been waiting, we've been pondering, we've been thinking.
Ruminating.
And finally, it is time to reveal our thoughts about the game.
Yes!
So, and of course, we're going to be ending the episode with a question of the week from Rain, who is not here.
Classic.
She's currently in the I was going to say terminal stages of her pregnancy, but that's not quite right.
Not the right word.
Listen, terminal means end. That's fine.
Terminal!
That's
terminal pregnancy.
It's an end. She's in the end of her pregnancy. She's about to squirt out the kid.
But the hatch.
From the nest. So she will be even more absent than normal.
Indeed.
But
maybe you'll hear the little nut in the background if she ever makes it.
That's right. I was going to say something, but she's not relevant anymore. She's dead, actually. So, terminal was right.
Were you going to say the queen?
No. Okay. I was not. Instead of what we normally do with games and pop culture stuff is we sort of run through what happened and talk about our thoughts about what happened. This time, though, we're going to mix it up a little bit.
Yeet.
We each have our own topic to talk about. Wolf has one, I have one. And then we're going to come to a joint topic together, which will be our favorite character arc or character change throughout the game. And then lastly, we'll be summarizing up, as we do always, with like final thoughts and a rating.
Yeah.
And so just to mix it up a little bit, we think most of you are completely aware of what's going on in this game, right, Wolf?
Indeed. Huge game, huge following. To clarify, we didn't play it ourselves. We watched a YouTuber play it.
A YouTuber, that's right. No need to give him ad revenue. We surely watched a popular YouTuber.
We watched the same YouTuber that I'm sure everyone else watched.
We did. At least probably half of you watched him. So, anyways, yeah, we did not play it. But I don't think that diminishes our experience of it.
Yeet.
This one, I think, I've talked about before that some games are better to be played, some are better to be experienced/watched. I think this one, it's almost a movie anyways,
True.
So you might as well just watch it. Don't feel bad if you're not playing it. But, Wolf, why don't we get into your first topic?
Oh, yes, of course. My main topic will be about a gameplay aspect of God of War, and it's how much the characters fucking talk.
Yeah.
So, it's honestly pretty standard 2 games, but my god, did it seem excessive at times. Like, you'll be going around, there's like idle chatter, which I don't mind, where like, Mimir will tell a story, or they'll have like some random interactions. Love those. But then when you get to puzzles or battle, they just keep fucking yapping. If you're doing puzzles, you get to be in the puzzle room for like 5 seconds before Atreus is yelling the answer at you. Like, god damn, just give me a chance to think about it.
Yeah, it's especially bad in the puzzles.
Yeah.
I didn't notice it as much in the battles. The Heimdall one was like, use the Draupnir spear, use the Draupnir spear.
I know, Mimir.
Right, but the puzzles are just so, like, obnoxious. Let me think.
I'm sure I can figure it out. There should be give me at least, like, a minute or 2 to mull it over. Yeah. Give me a chance to get stuck before you start giving me hints. Or let me ask for the hints.
Especially since a lot of that is just not even me, like, thinking about the puzzle. It's just me looking through the room.
Yeah.
Right? Like, I'm just exploring the room. Let me explore it.
Giving it a look around. They're like, oh, look at that thing. And you're not looking at the thing anymore, but that's what they're talking about.
Yeah. Let me crack some pots for the money.
There's so many things to look at and take.
No, I definitely agree. And Atreus is the worst one because he's the most annoying about it.
Why don't you try throwing it that way? Why don't you try going around? Why don't you shut the fuck up? And a part of me thinks, because Jack, he was playing an early access version of it. And part of me thinks...
Somebody? A YouTuber?
Censor it out later. A big old bleep.
They'll never know.
He got an early access version of it, like really early. And part of me thinks that maybe it just wasn't... That was a bug. Like, they were talking too much because it was a bug. Because later in the game, when you're with Freya and Mimir... And even when you get back with Atreus, they're a lot less talkative about, like, what you need to do.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if if Sony Santa Monica upped the delay on the dialogue hints. But
you catch on fire 3 times in the same fight, and they'll say it every single time.
Yeah.
You don't get to play coy and go, oh, but I guess you know that every time.
Yeah. For me, Atreus was easily the worst one, especially since, like, he comes at it from this, like, kid perspective.
Yeah.
And so he's got the most, like, standard feedback to give, where Mimir and Freya's is a lot more nuanced.
Yeah.
There's a lot more hidden, you know? It's like, perhaps try this strategy, or just, like, repeating some keywords rather than saying, hit the fucking button over here! Yeah.
Oh, man.
I never mind getting, like, advice or listening to Mimir. He's great.
Oh, yeah. Quality. Mimir could talk for days.
That's true. He can. And he does. Not as bad as Atreus, though.
True.
All right. So one of my I guess my only topic
Secretly
is
brought multiple topics to the table.
well, this has multiple sub points to it. So this spoiler alert, if you haven't watched it, this is the major spoiler in the game. So 3, 2, 1, here it is. How to tell Odin was Tyr all along.
Da da da.
And the hints and features that you may have missed, but I went back and found them.
Hunted them down.
That's right. They can't hide from me.
It's funny. When you said that you were gonna do this as your segment, as soon as you said that, I started getting TikTok trying to tell me all the hints. I'm like, no, I'm waiting.
Yeah. Oh, so you don't know many of them?
No.
Good. Okay. So I'll get like the really simple ones out of the way first. Obviously, Odin as Tyr and Odin when he's talking to Atreus, they're obviously really manipulative character. Just Odin is. He tries to manipulate everybody. He tries to be persuasive. And when you listen to Tyr, he's very similar dialogue to Odin.
Yeah.
It's hard for Odin to really disguise his conversation and his speaking monikers as Tyr, and that shows through. That one's really obvious. Another obvious one is that whenever Atreus and Kratos are suggesting plans, or Mimir is suggesting plans, Tyr kind of shoots them down or says, no, let's not do that, but doesn't provide any other solution, right? Odin is just trying to delay them from doing anything and delaying Ragnarok as long as possible and trying to get as much information out of them as he can.
And you think Tyr's just a fucking negative Nancy.
Right. You're thinking Tyr, oh, he's really just a pacifist god now. He doesn't want to be the god he used to be or claimed to be in the past. Yeah. But it's really just Odin trying to delay them. So those are the really simple ones. Now the next couple get into really deep points of the story and really nitpicking. So the first one, I titled them all. So this one is she lied in quotation marks. When Odin goes to see Groa, the Jotnar seer, she gets a vision of Ragnarok, and Odin demands to know what that vision was. Odin then kills Groa. What he didn't know was that the Jotnar hid the true meaning of all their visions behind prophecies in the shrines that only the Jotnar could access. When Atreus opens the shrine and shows Kratos, Mimir, and Tyr the vision from Groa that she had about Ragnarok, Tyr steps up and passes Atreus, sort of bumps into him, passes him, says she lied. And it shows what Odin was told was that Ragnarok would bring the downfall of the 9 realms. What Ragnarok actually meant was that Asgard would fall and the rest of the 8 realms would prosper.
Yeah.
And so Odin sees that, and as Tyr, he says she lied.
Broke character.
And then Right, he breaks character a little bit. Obviously, Tyr shouldn't know that there's really much of any sort of like prophecy that Odin knows about at all.
Yeah.
Other than what Mimir says right after, because Mimir, being the smartest man alive, knows that Odin had Groa's prophecy.
Right.
And so that's a first one. That one's pretty subtle, but it's there. The next one is one of the biggest ones. Probably the biggest, maybe second biggest. The entire game, Tyr calls Freya Frigg. The only person to call Freya Frigg is Odin.
Oh.
Frigg is Freya's married name. So before she marries Odin, she's always referred to as Freya. When she's married to Odin and is, the queen of Asgard, she's called Frigg by Odin.
Yeah.
And then when she divorces him, she goes back, or leaves him, or whatever they did, splits. She goes back to using her old goddess name, Freya.
Oh.
And so Tyr, the real Tyr, knew Freya before she married Odin.
Yeah.
So Tyr would be calling Freya, not Frigg. And then when we get the reveal, Odin's first words, or one of the first words, he says, "Hello, Frigg," to Freya.
Wow, so in your face, and then you don't even notice.
I know. It's obvious once it gets pointed out, because you can remember all the times that Tyr says Frigg.
The feed.
Yep. Yeah, so that's a really good one. Another big one is the broom closet.
Yeah.
So when you first when Atreus and Kratos go to free Tyr, they go into the mines and he is imprisoned behind a locked door. It's basically about the size of a broom closet. It's basically maybe a minor sub room, not very big.
Yeah.
You free him and you continue on your merry way. You bring him back to the trees of Yggdrasil and everything. If you go and explore that room, you'll find raven feathers on the ground.
What?
Yep. If you go back, there's feathers from Hugin and Mugen.
That's amazing.
The ravens that Odin has.
Man,
that he uses
imagine
to
being the
transport.
first person to think to even check that you can even look into the broom closet.
I know! It's so cool. They're like in the corner.
Oh, man.
And you just see the raven feathers. And why else would there be raven feathers there?
Naturally.
Oh, piece it together. Yeah. So, another one. This one's pretty similar to the "She Lied" quote. It's about the Draupnir spear. So Kratos asked the dwarves, Sindri and Brock, to create a new weapon to kill Heimdall. They revealed they have the duplicating ring called Draupnir, which was stolen from Odin when, at a certain time, it's not explicit when, it was stolen from Odin. Nobody really cared except Odin.
Yeah.
Because he wanted to have all the cool artifacts. Which is another reason he takes back the sword from Atreus. He wants to keep it all to himself.
That's his trophy.
Yeah. Anyways, Odin as Tyr, when it's revealed that Brock and Sindri have Draupnir, Tyr gets a bit aggressive and angry and he says, they stole Draupnir? As, instead of not like, you guys stole Draupnir.
Oh, it's accusatory.
Right? Yeah. It's accusatory and it's surprise. It's a break of character. It's not how you would address anybody in this conversation. It's like, they stole Draupnir. Odin would be the only person mad that Draupnir, to find out who has Draupnir. Nobody else cares because the ring doesn't do a whole lot.
It duplicates.
All it does, it duplicates.
It's just
itself.
cool.
It is, yeah. So that's another minor one, but it's another break of character that Odin didn't really control when he was impersonating Tyr.
Yeah.
The last one, and this is a big one, another big one, almost as big as the Frigg one. Whenever Tyr is mentioned in the game, so obviously we know that subtitles run throughout the game.
Yeah.
If you pay attention, and I just put it in chat for you, Wolf, there is, whenever Tyr is mentioned in the game, it's written like that. Right? It has the accent over the Y, which is traditionally how Tyr is written in Icelandic literature. When Odin as Tyr has his subtitles, it's written like that. It doesn't have the accent over the Y.
That's so sneaky.
It is. It's really and it's like it's back to back. There's a lot of lines from Atreus end with or have Tyr in the title or in the
correct
subtitles.
Way.
Right, the correct way. But then when Tyr has his little dialogue, his subtitle shows up without the accent, showing that he's not the true Tyr.
That's really amazing.
Yeah, there's a lot of really cool. I'm sure there's more. These are the ones I noticed. I would not be surprised if there were more, some better, some worse.
Surely.
But I think I found the majority of the ones that are really relevant. Frigg, Tyr, and the Broom Closet, I think, are the really three big ones.
Yeah. Man.
So that's how we could have seen that Tyr was Odin all along.
That's how you write a good twist.
And it was a great twist.
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time. Yeah, I spent a lot of time on this podcast saying like I'm good at predictions and guessing how changes to story are made and everything like that. I did not see this coming.
I finally got you.
Not at all. They did. Finally. For all the predictions I did for the Atom Project, this one finally caught up to me.
Used up all your brain juice.
I did. And so, I'm moving on to our next little topic. We're going to be talking about our favorite character developments or character arcs throughout the game. So why don't you start, Wolf?
I've got my main one, which is Sindri, but I wanted to touch on Odin first. He doesn't have a character arc because he doesn't grow or change. That is his arc.
Yeah, that's him.
But I really, really liked this depiction of Odin and as a villain and everything.
I loved it.
Like, he's not some brute. He's not physically threatening. He's like some elderly twig, but he's dropping red flags every time he speaks.
Yeah, he's very manipulative. And he's commanding in his speech as well.
Yeah.
He doesn't leave that much up to the decisions of others, even if it's presented as a question.
Yeah.
A lot of the questions are meant to have the outcome that Odin wants.
Yeah.
And it shows. So for anyone that's watched Game of Thrones, the Odin character in this is really similar to how Tywin Lannister is written as a character. And they're both really similar in physicality as well. Really skinny, bald guys.
Balding.
But balding. But they're both written very similar. Always a commanding presence, always in charge of the situation, and very manipulative.
Yeah.
I also love this Odin character. It was awesome.
I think if I hadn't seen every terrible thing Odin had done from everyone else's point of view, had he come onto screen, he'd have convinced me too he was a good guy.
Yeah. I want to talk about a little bit about that more later, but I agree. I think Odin would have probably sweet-talked me as well. What do you have to say about Sindri?
Oh, Sindri, what a fucking tragedy. Says Sindri, big relatable, very germophobic vibes, and so am I. He's a dwarf character, and his gimmick is that he's like kind of all the dwarves' gimmick is that they can be everywhere at once because you can like upgrade your shit in random locations. And man, he's really sweet. He's like Atreus's brother uncle thing. They are friends mostly. He's there to support Atreus. He helps Atreus even do things behind Kratos' back. And he even gives a small speech about how he keeps giving and giving to Atreus and Kratos, but mostly Atreus. Until in the end, he has nothing left to give when Brock gets taken from him, when he's killed, when he's like calling out Tyr, who is really Odin.
Killed again.
Yeah, killed again. And it's like extra devastating. And I know Sindri's extra fucked up about it because he's effectively robbed Brock of an afterlife. Because when he brought him back the first time, he didn't get all the pieces. So there's no afterlife for Brock. He is just gone. That's it, which is even worse than him just regular dying.
Right, yeah, he's not absorbed in the light of Alfheim or whatever the hell it is. The light of the Norse mythology. I forget what it is exactly.
Just booted from existence.
Yeah, he's not anywhere. He's not in hell. He's not in heaven. He does not exist anymore.
Yeah.
Funny you say that. Sindri was also my favorite character arc. I loved it. Everything you said, spot on. One thing I want to add that you kind of touched on was that the giving, how it's almost a one-sided relationship almost.
Yeah.
I just said almost twice, but we're going to go. He keeps giving. He gives the spear. He gives his time. He gives his house. He end up giving his brother unwillingly, but does give it. And in the end, he really has nothing to show for it.
Yeah.
He lost everything. He lost it all. The director even said you can compare Sindri's story to that of Shel Silverstein's The Giving Tree.
Oh, yeah.
Where, the Giving Tree gives the apples, gives the branches, gives the trunk, and eventually all that's left is a stump.
Yep.
And at the end of the God of War, Sindri is the stump.
Yeah.
Was a direct quote from what the director said. And I think that puts it even to like a more gut-wrenching perspective because you really want things to end up happy for Sindri because I think he's a really likable character.
Yeah, he didn't deserve this.
Did you hear what the director said about Brock, by the way?
No.
So Brock, so if Sindri was the Giving Tree, they needed another moniker or sort of headliner for what the character arcs were going to be. And Brock was the family dog.
Oh, no!
someone that you always love and care for, and everybody likes, everybody, loved Brock as a character,
Old
and then
Yeller.
everybody's devastated when he dies. Yeah.
The dog does die in this one.
Oh, worse than dies.
Yeah.
Booted from existence.
Wiped away.
Yeah.
Yep, and even,
It was like... Oh, go ahead.
Even in the end, by the end of the story, they beat Odin and Sindri gets his revenge. But they're like, at the end, they trap Odin in like the soul ball and they're faffing about like, maybe we shouldn't kill him. And he pops in and just fucking smashes it.
Oh my god.
Like,
and
enough
then
of you guys.
like teleports away.
Yeah.
Came in, fucked shit up, and left.
Yep.
Yeah. They definitely, I think, did Brock and Sindri a little dirty, but I know that was their goal.
Indeed. Break our
Which
hearts.
is really, like, it's really well done, but also, like, man, you guys didn't have to do him that dirty.
Right. Give him a little slack.
Yeah, so, since we kind of, you took Sindri from me a little bit, I want to expand upon Kratos.
Yeah. Main character.
Because, yeah, this one is a really different, even from the last time we saw him. For those of you that haven't played the original God of War, or the original God of Wars, before 2018,
Yep.
he was a monster, literally. Was designed to be the perfect killing machine by Ares, given the Blades of Chaos, mutilated the entire Greek pantheon, literally everybody, and basically destroyed Greece as a place. In 2018, he, marries again, has another kid, enters fatherhood again, and really tries to leave behind this character that he once was.
Yep.
In this version, the 2022 Ragnarok, he's even more fatherly. He's, showing Atreus how to live in this world and be his own person and do all the right things and prevent Atreus from doing all the mistakes that he made when he was younger.
Yeah. Even calls him by his name now.
Right, which is showing not only that he's growing up, but also Atreus is growing up.
Yeah.
He's not the boy he once was. He is coming into his own. And what I really liked about this is that they prevented Ragnarok by changing their own natures, and the Norns from Norse mythology are the fates from like Greek mythology.
Yep.
And they said fate is less about predicting the future and it's more about predicting one's nature and their character.
Yeah.
And that they're the sum of their own actions. And so they prevented Ragnarok, as in Loki joining Odin, by breaking their nature, especially Kratos. He said to his son, feel their pain, let them into your heart, right? And I just thought that was one of the best scenes from the game.
Indeed.
It was so good.
I really like there were two scenes where like Atreus like gave Kratos his words back to him.
Oh my god, where he says like don't be sorry, father, be better.
Yeah.
Oh my god, 10 out of 10, one of my favorite quotes. He literally like pulls out the Uno reverse card.
Love to see it.
Oh, it was so good because he's definitely said that in the previous game.
Yeah, it was it was after Atreus like fucked up shooting the deer.
Right. And I think he also said it after he killed Magni.
Yeah.
Or Modi. Or whoever the fuck one of them. He killed, I mean, they both died. But yeah, he definitely says it a couple times to Atreus, and it was awesome, like, Atreus kind of rebounding and giving it back to him.
Yeah, and seeing...
But it really, like...
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
I'm fine.
Okay. Fuck's sake, God, I hate it. I'm going to cancel the podcast.
Ruined it.
It really shows that Atreus has been listening to Kratos this whole time.
Yeah.
Right? He hasn't just been like, hearing the words and like dismissing them. He's been listening and absorbing and trying to learn from his father.
Indeed. What was I gonna say? Oh, about Kratos. Kratos changing his nature. First of all, fuck you, Norn, trying to tell him he hadn't changed. Because even by the time he got to the Norns, he was making some changes. But also, it's like throughout, so Kratos was the god killer. That's how he solves all your problems. He hunts down gods, almost preemptively, and kills them. And
yeah, definitely preemptively.
And getting into God of War, the plain God of War. As the game progresses, he's doing less hunting down and more just reacting. And although in the end he is still killing gods, he's trying to be less combative. He's just trying to do what it takes to survive. And then finally you get to this one. And first nature truly changes when he attempts to spare Heimdall at the end of the fight. He pins his arm against the wall, blasts it off.
Yeah.
And he tries to walk away because the mission was complete. He didn't need to kill Heimdall, but Heimdall wasn't having it. But then, and he didn't give up just because that didn't work. He then tried it again on Thor, and then it eventually worked.
And Kratos is doing all of this, like you said, preemptively. Previously it was preemptively. This one is sort of reactively. But he doesn't want to do any of this.
He's like, please, guys, I do not want to kill anyone else.
He doesn't want to go hunting gods. He doesn't want to kill them. He wanted to spare He tried to spare Heimdall twice. Yeah. Right? He pinned him up against the wall, says it ends here. Heimdall's like, I'm going to kill your son. Kratos blows his arm off and then ends up strangling him, which is great. That entire fight was awesome because it was the next big thing that happened right after Kratos was at the Norns when they said he couldn't change, he wasn't changing his nature.
Yeah.
He went right back. The next big thing that happened after that meeting was he went right back to killing gods. That's such a good transition. Obviously, Kratos, changes his nature. Loki changes his nature, but there's definitely subtle hints. Oh, especially when Mimir is brother, this is not the god you want to be.
Yeah.
Remember, when he's strangling, and Mimir's on the ground next to
fell
Heimdall.
off his hip.
Yeah, he's brother, don't do this. This is not the god you want to be. You're not this anymore. And Kratos just lets it loose.
One last time.
I saw a clip, again, from the director that was talking about that combat scene when they were filming it with Christopher Judge, the actor of Kratos.
Yeah.
And he got so into the scene that after he kills Heimdall, strangles him, remember he flips over Heimdall and fumbles picking up the Gjallarhorn and then yanks it off his body.
Yeah.
That was by accident.
Oh.
Christopher Judge tried to pick it up a swift motion the first time and was so into being angry that he fumbled.
Yeah.
And then yanked it off in anger at the second time. And Christopher Judge was like, okay, let's just redo that scene and I'll pick it up the first time alone. And the director's like, no, that was perfect. That was so good. Yeah, right. And it was by accident. It was so good. Because you can understand the adrenaline pumping through Kratos would he wouldn't, probably not, because he doesn't even want the Gjallarhorn.
He doesn't.
he didn't want to bring about Ragnarok.
He didn't want to kill Heimdall. Yeah, provoked him. Threatened Atreus and saw red.
Right. Yeah, I all the characters are really great.
Yeah, and throughout the game, you see you get a lot of soft moments if you get if you do a bunch of the side quests. If you take Atreus back to the Norns or where you found him, and Atreus is like, "Why are we here?" And Atreus is like, "Well, there was a horse, and I thought you would have liked to see it."
That's pretty good. Finally, this is sort of the last one I'll touch on before we get to final thoughts. I loved how they depicted Heimdall.
Yeah.
I thought, and this was surprising, I heard a lot of complaints about this depiction of Heimdall. I saw a lot of people complaining. And I thought this made so much sense. If you are, have the gift of foresight, essentially you're close to omnipotent, right?
Yeah.
You're close to knowing all, knowing everybody's actions. There's no way that, for example, the MCU depiction of Heimdall, where he's a humble god, would make sense.
Indeed.
You're going to be the most arrogant piece of shit on the face of the earth.
That's right. And even if you're not arrogant, you're at the very minimum going to be jaded and untrustworthy of other people. Because you know their intentions.
Yeah. You know all the intentions. Of course you're going to be untrustworthy, except for the one person that you have to be trusting towards, which is Odin in this case. I thought it made such good sense. And even disregarding all that, as the player, you're probably going to you obviously have to fight Heimdall. You don't want to have to fight a god or any character that you enjoy.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to dislike these gods, that's one of the reasons why Thor is such a grouchy turd. You're going to have to fight him, obviously. Now, it ends up being a bit different for Thor's final story.
Indeed.
But at least for Heimdall, he's, jaded, edgy, arrogant, cocky, and I thought that was perfect.
Yeah.
Really, really well done from Sony Santa Monica writing.
Peak Heimdall.
Yep. All right. So let's do favorite moments. What your very favorite moment?
There's so many. Massive game.
There was a lot.
16-part playthrough.
Allegedly.
All
right, I have mine. I'll let you think. Okay. We kind of already touched on it. Actually, I'll pick a different one. I did really like it when Atreus gives his words back to his father, but I think my favorite one was when Atreus goes off to find the other giants living, right? And Kratos opens his side of the Jotnar prediction and sees his prophecy that Faye predicted. And it's that Kratos finally gets to be a god that is loved by everyone.
Yeah.
And celebrated and worshipped and revered. And it especially hits home because Odin tells him earlier that it's like, have you ever been a god? Have you ever been worshipped to? Has anyone ever looked up to you? Has anybody ever wanted you
Threw it in his
as
face.
their god? Right. And obviously the answer would be no for most of that. But Kratos finally gets to feel that feeling, and he even says that to Freya at the very end. He's like, it was a path I thought long had closed.
Yeah.
And honestly, that's just like a really, really nice sort of ending to that story.
Man, shout out to MVP Faye, changing everything for her two
Literally.
boys.
I know. The entire outcome of
The universe.
literally everything. Yeah. So that Atreus and Kratos can live. Yeah. That's some family homies right there. All right, what do you got?
I think mine would be right before they like go to war with Asgard. They set up camp at Tyr's old temple. And Freya gives Kratos and Atreus like separate tents. He's like, you're an adult now, you get your own tent. And then as you chill out as Kratos, you see Atreus at his doorway like, can I share your tent with you? And it's so sweet. And then he tells him a story to help him fall asleep.
Yeah. I really like that scene too, because Atreus was really jazzed about getting his own tent too.
He was.
He's like, oh yeah, I get my own tent. This is so cool.
I'm a grown now.
Right, the night before this fucking godly war, Atreus wants to spend the last confirmable night with his dad.
Yeah.
I like that a lot.
So sweet.
It was nice. All right, favorite character. And you can't pick Sindri.
Criminal.
Yeah, because we already know.
Yeah. he got an award already. I'd have to go with Angerboda then.
Really?
I liked her section. She did kind of like popping it out like a Deus Ex Machina. But aside from that, I like her vibes.
I did. Yeah, she was nice. She was one of the ones that I saw a lot of hate towards.
Ridiculous.
They thought like her side quest with Loki in the jungle of the Ironwoods was like the most boring part of the whole game.
Sick of people. Sick of this world.
Yeah.
Sick of gamers.
Yeah. It provided so much necessary feedback for Loki.
Yeah.
It gives you so much backstory for him. And not even Atreus, literally just the character Loki.
Yeah.
Like, as Atreus as Loki, it gives you so much info that is like desperately needed in the game.
And it's that we get she's like the only other giant we see aside from her grandmother. You get to see how, at least the implications of how the giants were by what remains of their remains.
Yeah, it was awesome. I thought that was really good. It wasn't action-packed, but it didn't need to be. That wasn't its goal.
Yeah, it was gentle.
Yeah, I like that you picked that one. Or I like that you pick Angerboda. Not my favorite. I'm going to go with... Oh, there's like really some really, really good ones. Oh, I really liked Brock.
Ah, of course.
Now, obviously, we've been talking about Sindri and how good he is. It's really... Brock is just really provides an incredibly needed comic relief to the game.
Yeah. Yeah.
You have to have someone to break up all this tension, all this seriousness, especially when so much of it is centered around Kratos and Atreus possibly separating forever or maybe killing one another potentially, right? You need that breakup. And lastly, the shout out I want to make was, who is the god in the jungles of Vanaheim when they're like leaving on the boat, the flying boat, that's just like starts praying, takes out his like humongous sword and is like, for Vanaheim, and he jumps off, kills those two like wyverns or drakes or whatever, and then is dead.
Nah, he lived.
Shout out to that guy.
He lived.
Oh right, he did live. He did live.
Fucking plummeted into a volcano.
He did live. He comes back. I forgot about that. Shout out to that guy, because that was such a good, like, that war cry of the For Vanaheim was amazing, by the way.
Very
really good audio there, and it was hilarious. Just yeets himself and saves everybody.
Everyone watching him like, are you guys sure? Are you sure that was the only way?
It was so good. For Vanaheim, and it just yeeted off the boat, took out the two threats, and then he came back like nothing happened.
A little bruised up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, 10 out of 10. Don't remember his name, but it was good.
Doesn't need it.
Doesn't need it. He's the For Vanaheim guy. All right, lastly, what are you rating the game out of 10? Big question right here.
Maybe 9 out of 10. A very solid 9 out of 10.
Solid 9 out of 10. I agree with you. It's a 9 out of 10.
Only the 1 point is missing is just with the miscellaneous gameplay issues I had.
Yeah, there's some minor stuff here and there. A couple questions, a couple things like, was this really important over this? Stuff like that. Overall, visuals are a 10 out of 10.
Of course, naturally.
Character writing, probably a 10 out of 10. Maybe 9 if you really want to be picky. But all in all, this was... Sony Santa Monica once again created a masterpiece.
Knocked it out of the park.
They really did. I'm already excited for the next God of War game.
Yeah, same. Well, it's going to win all the awards at the Game Awards this year.
It sure is. I have heard a lot of people that think it's not going to win, but I think if it doesn't win at least like 5 awards, it's rigged.
Yeah, rigged. Fake. Can't be trusted. Yeah.
Where do you think Kratos is going to go next?
They said Egypt, right?
Yeah.
I don't know why he's going to go to Egypt, but maybe Atreus is going to wander his way over there and then need help.
Yeah, I'm interested. They did mention... They showed on... Back in 2018, God of War, they showed the like timeline of like Kratos' history and stuff, and they showed Greece, and they showed the Norse area, and then they showed areas that he hadn't gone to that were apparently important to the story, and one of them was an Ankh for Egypt. So I'm very interested and excited because I really want to see him go there. There's a lot of cool gods in Egypt.
True.
And I really want to see him like kill Anubis.
Fuck him up.
Yeah. Anyways, really good. Check it out if you haven't. God of War Ragnarok.
Kratos fights Jesus Christ himself.
The official the official ridiculous rating is a 9 out of 10.
Yeah.
All right. And with that, wrapping up I'm surprised we got in under an hour.
True. We do still have the question of the week.
Oh yeah, well, I just thought we would talk about God of War for an hour.
True. We got close.
All right.
Because we put limits on ourselves. Self-control.
And we figured out what we wanted to talk about.
ramble about side quests for an hour.
We could have, though. You're lucky. We could have definitely talked about a lot more stuff. We honed it in.
Yeah. We're professionals.
All right, Wolf. Yeah, definitely. Why don't you read us Rain's question of the week?
Alrighty. What is the best Wii Sports Resort game?
That would have been pretty good if you pitched it down a bit.
So close.
I think you're always giving her way too high of an inflection.
She sounds high in my ears.
Okay. All right. So I'll go first. I think actually a lot of the Wii Sports Resort games are really good.
Yeah.
I'll list them off for those that maybe have forgotten or have never played before. We got swordplay, wakeboarding, frisbee, archery, basketball, table tennis or ping pong, golf, bowling, power cruising, canoeing, cycling, and air sports. Now, a lot of good ones here, but the best one is air sports.
Wow.
All right? And let me tell you why. You get to see the entire island. You get to fly around in a cool plane, first of all. You get to see the entire island where all these other games are taking place. You get to see the arena that the swordplay is on. You get to see the archery areas.
Perhaps.
You get to, when you pick up those little coins in the sky, they give you info about the area. They give you the deep Nintendo lore.
The Nintendo lore.
You get to explore the island at different times of day, morning, midday, and evening. And when you do that, that changes the settings of these areas.
Wow.
Which is really cool. And so that is the reason it's the best game. It's the most satisfying. It's the most chill.
Wow.
It is the best to play when you're high. You get to fly around and be cool and it's just goated, I'll be honest.
Wow.
You get to do some are difficult to find, like all the couple ones in the volcano.
Yeah.
There's a bit of challenge to finding those. There's like, I can't remember. I think there's 100 of them in total, but yeah, goated air sports.
I'd have never
best
known
Wii
that.
Sports Resort game.
Because when I played, it was so boring. It was not one we ever played.
You have no taste. It's the best one.
You just float around
and flying. You get all the lore. I'm heated. I hate this. It's the best one by miles. And it's a game. It's not just like you're flying around forever. It's a game because you're timed. You have 2 or 5 minutes, I forget, to get as many as you can.
Of just floating around.
I think it's like 2.5 minutes. Yeah, and you're doing cool shit. You can boost. You can do U-turns and tricks.
U-turns.
You can barrel roll. You can crash into a blimp.
You could.
It doesn't do anything to the blimp, but you can do it.
Impenetrable blimp.
Fine. What's the best one in your opinion? I'll tell you why you're wrong.
Table tennis / ping pong, of course. Naturally.
Oh.
The best game in Wii Sports and Wii Fit. It's perfect in every way. The back and forth, the very satisfying smack of the ping pong against the table, the rhythmic back and forth. It's all amazing.
I will grant you, table tennis is pretty good. It's no air sports, okay? But it is pretty good. Honorable mention to archery.
Oh, my honorable mention is for the stepping game in Wii Fit.
What?
It's like you step up, then you step down, and then you step up and down, and then side to the side.
You're just doing like aerobics.
Is that what I think? I guess it goes do, and then sometimes there's a clap.
You're just so trying to like do the samba on Wii Fit.
Yeah.
Go to like elderly dance night if you want to do that. Then.
It's so fun.
Wow, what a waste of an honorable mention.
No.
I can't believe you like. I'm fine with picking table tennis, but then you go ahead and butcher your honorable mention by picking the step game.
It's amazing.
It's mid.
You were just bad at it, I bet.
I didn't play it because it was boring.
I slapped at it.
Yeah, because it's boring and you're good at all bad things.
Yeah.
Did you ever play the hula hoop game on Wii Fit?
Yes.
That one was alright. It was not very good, but I remember it. I remember it better than I remember the step.
Oh, you mixed your memories up.
No, they're quite clear. They're both bad. Alright, let us know on Instagram, in the comments, on Twitter, in the tweets, and YouTube comments everywhere what you think the best Wii Sports or Wii Fit game is. Obviously, I'm right. Air Sports is the clear winner. Wolfie's ridiculous as always.
Nonsense.
Rain would agree with me.
No.
Actually, she'd probably pick, like, sword play. Okay. Wait. Before we wrap up, can we agree on what the worst one is here?
Let me look at the list again.
Here, I'll send you a picture. There you go. Because I think there's a clear... Okay, thank you. I'm glad we actually
I saw the picture
agree.
and it all came flooding back to me.
The bowling is the worst one, and I will not hear any discussion about it.
I will not be elaborating. We all know the truth.
That's all we need to say is bowling is obviously the worst one. Oh, glad we can agree on that at least. All right, Wolf, why don't you take it away?
All right, I'm Wolf, taking things away. Thank you for watching episode 53 of You're Ridiculous. Woo! If you liked all that...
Season 2!
Oh, yeah, we are in Season 2 of Ridiculousness.
That's right. All things ridiculous exemplified.
If you liked all that, be sure to hit the like, comment, and subscribe button. Be sure to hit the bell so you get notified of the next episode. If you're watching on a podcast website, be sure to hit the plus and give us 5 stars. We hope to see if you liked all that. You can follow us across the internet on Twitter and Instagram at ridiculous_cast for the main cast. You can follow Lucas on Twitter and Instagram at 7AngryWasps with an E, and you can follow me at Rainbow Does without the W. We hope to see you guys all again next week. Say goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Stop.